Hey folks, this is Dave Gleason, head coach of Athletic Revolution in Pembroke, Massachusetts. And today it's a super hot day. We're told it's going to be about 95 degrees. All of our elementary schools around here, public and private, are either out of school, they're starting to get out of school within the next 2 weeks. So with that said, our 10 to 13-year-olds, and to a much larger extent, our 6 to 9-year-olds are a little off the wall. If you work with kids in this age bracket, specifically 6 to 9 years old, you probably know what you're talking about. My two boys, Andrew and Trevor, they've been off the wall for the last couple of weeks. There's a lot of change that happens at the end of the school year, and I think kids really feel that. There's a lot of stuff that's placed upon them at school by the end of the year. Schedule's going to change. Spring sports are ending. Just a lot of change for any 6 to 9-year-old to go through. So with that said, I want to talk to you just a little bit about how to handle that within your classes so that you still feel like you're getting as much work done, if you will, with your young athletes as possible, even though behaviorally they seem like they're out of their minds a little bit at this time of the year. You know, and you'll probably experience this every time a big holiday or vacation comes up. Kids are just super excited, but during the school year anyway, what do they have to do? They have to sit there and not talk and, sit up straight and not communicate, no physical activity a lot of the time. So by the time you see them in your after school program or your fitness programs, they're just like raring to go, and they're definitely not gonna wanna focus too much perhaps. So what I want to do first is just lay the groundwork. I'm just going to assume that your programming is laden with fun and games, because for the 6 to 9-year-old age group, it should be, okay? Your main concern should be about all aspects and areas concerning coordination development for them, and the way that you get there is through gameplay and as much fun as possible, okay? So, we could talk about this particular aspect of training young kids for hours, perhaps. I could at least, put together a 50-minute presentation. I just want to give you one thing to think about, and that is the Pygmalion Effect. If you haven't heard of it, in layman's terms, really, that's how I operate, is in layman's terms, the expectations that you set on kids or adults for that matter, they tend to live up to those expectations. We could say the same thing about labeling. A lot of times kids will come in and they're labeled as either the athlete or the nerd, the dorky kid, or the bully, or the special kid, or whatever it is, and kids really start to live up to those labels very, very quickly. Now the Pygmalion Effect and how we use it here, and we use this all year round, not just during the end of school or before vacations when the kids are like crazed. It's all the time. So we want to lay down expectations for the kids in terms of behavior as much as possible. The first thing that we do, we have what's called a Champions Code here, and it's a longer list of kind of rules or expectations that I want to share with you. But 3 of the things we talk about every single class is when the coach is talking, you guys, the attendees, the kids, you are listening with your eyes and your ears, both. I want you paying attention, okay? And the second thing is, in here anyway, this is what we lay down for the rules. We treat each other like family with ultimate respect. There's only encouragement, no cutting each other down, none of that stuff. That's part of our culture here. The last thing that we talk about is have as much fun as humanly possible. So we lay down those guidelines, boundaries, if you will. I look at each child in the eyes, whether I have 3 kids in class or 16, do you agree to those expectations? Yes, coach, yes, coach, yes, coach. Now you have ammunition to go back to the group or any individual if they're not adhering to those expectations, okay? So, what else can you do in terms of the Pygmalion Effect? Give them the expectation that you understand they've been in school, they're super excited. Ask them questions about how they're feeling, like, are they off the wall? Watch them play a little bit and kind of gather that information. Then set the expectation, guys. We are going to have a ton of fun today, but we need to get through a little bit of work first. A little bit of work. Now that little bit of work should still be game laden in some way, or it should be some type of a challenging activity that they see as a fun game, okay? And keep that in mind as you go forward. They don't come into your facility, your program, just to kind of, you know, drive you nuts, if you will, even though it seems like it. They're just being them. Sometimes what you're going to have to do is be as silly as they are, okay? I've tended to see that the more we push back on kids, for the most part, the more they push back on us. So the more I try to get them focused on a day where they're out of their minds, the less that's going to work. It may be one of those days you need to put your clipboard and all the cool things you had set forth for that day, put your clipboard in the corner and literally play games that will help the kids in terms of coordination with spatial awareness, balance, both static and dynamically, rhythm, reactivity. You can work on systemic strength, all the things that we love to work on and put into our programming. Everything can be a game. But you need to set up those expectations first, okay? When all else fails, clipboard goes in the corner, play. Play, 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 be as silly as they are. I hope this helps you, especially, you know, if you work with kids right now that it's toward the end of the school year and they're just out of their minds, like I've been saying. Get down on their level. Try to meet them where they are. Have as much fun as they are, because that's what's going to keep them going. You don't want this to turn into a negative experience for them, like, oh, I have to go there and I have to focus today. It's just one more thing. No, this is the best part of their day. This is the best part of their day. So I know you're going to take some of this info, bring it back to your programs and your facilities, and you're just going to crush it with your kids. They're going to have a great time, and so are you. This type of stuff will help lower your own frustration. So with that said, I'm going to let you go. Go out there, go get them. Have a great day. This is Dave Gleason signing off.